Errol Spence has called out Sebastian Fundora, but Terence Crawford believes that Errol is not a worthy opponent. During the Tszyu Fundora fight, Errol Spence Jr. was in the crowd. Spence took to his X account before the event to announce that he would challenge the winner of Tszyu against Fundora next. He posted a video of a shark indicating that he was coming for blood. Headed to Vegas! I want the winner! Tszyu Fundora! Following the match, Spence entered the ring and challenged Fundora to a fight.
Errol, come and join us right here.
Hey, what's going on?
You said you would like to fight the winner of this fight. Well, here he is. What do you have to say?
I was trying to get it on. He got the beat dog now.
When asked about Fundora's crazy height advantage, Spence replied by saying, I mean, he got a pretty good height, but we'll break him down like we always do. However, Terence Crawford, who has also challenged the winner of Tszyu Fundora, didn't take nice of Spence appearing post-fight, as he has already beaten him earlier. Bud took to Twitter and took a jab at Spence. He posted, "You lost, sir, gotta work your way back up." He then posted, "Errol Spence, sorry buddy, you gotta wait in line, sir." Spence then responds to Crawford by saying that he doesn't stand in lines. IDK champ, I don't do lines. Crawford didn't stop and made fun of Spence standing in a ring where he doesn't even belong. He posted, "Errol Spence, you look like a linebacker, my guy." Abel Sanchez also believes that Spence doesn't deserve to fight Fundora right now.
It was Errol Spence that actually got into the ring and called out Fundora. That might actually be the fight that's next. Do you like that style? Errol Spence?
I think Errol deserves it, yeah. He's got to fight a fight before. First fight at 154, why should he get the shot when the other guys have been struggling to get to that point?
During the end of the event, Spence was seen taking pictures with the fans. One fan asked what would happen if he faced Fundora, to which Spence made a gesture signaling that Fundora would go to sleep.
DJ, what happens to Fundora when he faces you?
Fundora was then asked about Errol during the post-fight conference. Fundora thinks that it would make a great fight and is ready to compete.
Everybody has goals, in boxing. He's a legend right now in this sport, and one of the top fighters. So, I like to get in the ring with him too. It'd be a great fight. He's before that Terence Crawford fight, he was considered one of the best fighters in the world. So let's do it.
When asked about if he'd give a rematch to Tszyu, Fundora looked a bit hesitant and stated, "I don't know. That's not my part of the business. I just go in the ring and I fight." However, Tim's promoter George Rose is adamant for a rematch. He says that the team will be pushing for a rematch with Fundora down the line, despite the presence of Spence and uncertainty around the future of Crawford and Jermell Charlo at the top. Rose stated, he knows there's a rematch clause there. If we want to take it, we'll take it. I'd love to see Tim take that and win them belts straight back. I'm happy for a rematch to happen next and good luck trying to get out of it. Samson Lukowicz states that Tim would get the rematch, but not at this moment. He wants to maximize the cash out first. Samson stated, I know we'll get the rematch, but not at this moment. Right now, I need to maximize the most money for my fighter, Fundora. When asked who will Fundora face next, Samson stated that Errol seems a legit option for the business, and Crawford could wait for 1 or 2 fights.
That's correct.
Over Crawford? Does Spence more money?
No, Crawford, we're not sell out 90,000 people in Dallas. I can tell you that much.
But is Crawford the better fighter?
Yes, but everybody wait. Benavides wait. Why not Crawford? Let him wait 1 time or maybe twice, and then you go.
Even with Spence, losing the fight, Crawford beating, you still think the value's better on Spence?
In the end of the day, is maximize the profit for the fighter.
But just recently, WBO President Paco Valcarcel announced that they will be mandating negotiations between newly crowned junior middleweight champion Sebastian Fundora and Terence Crawford. He posted, "Great fight in Vegas. Tim Tszyu show again that he is one of the best 154-pounders. Congrats to Tim and Sebastian Fundora. Tremendous world boxing title bout in which Fundora received judge's decision. Next week, WBO will order negotiations for Fundora vs. Terence Crawford." He then replied to a fan who was curious about the potential fight. Paco responded, "Wait and see." Coming back to the fight between Tim Tszyu and Fundora, the fight was incredibly violent, with both competitors covered in blood for the majority of the main event match. In the second round, Fundora threw what many call an illegal elbow that slashed open Tim's forehead. Tim lost a lot of blood as a result of the cut, and some of it ended up in his eyes while fighting. Nonetheless, Tim showed courage by going toe-to-toe with Fundora, despite losing by a split decision. Many professionals are wondering why the match was not called off due to Tim's injuries, Jim Lampley believes that the cut changed many aspects of the fight, and the outcome of the match would have been different if this wasn't the case.
The fight seemed to change on that cut. How much do you gauge that really changed the tempo of the fight and what was
changed everything? Yeah. I mean, the whole event, the whole evening with regard to those two fighters is about the cut. And I don't know if I've ever seen exactly that circumstance. The place where the cut takes place is the highest concentration of veins in the body. At the top of your skull, more blood comes to meet in a crossroads on the top of your skull than anywhere else in your body.
Jim also believes that the fight was not fair, as he stated, "It's not fair. Life is unfair. That was not fair competition. That was unfair competition because one guy fouled the other with an elbow on the top of the head and cut him open in such a way that the blood flow was not going to be stopped." He also believes that Tszyu is a better boxer, and the cut highly altered the result of the fight. Lampley stated, "If the outcome is not altered by the cut, I don't think Fundora was ever in the position to win those rounds the way he did because Tszyu would have tactical command and mastery. He's a better boxer. And, I'm not going to downgrade Fundora. He did what he had to do under the circumstances. All credit to him. But at the end of the day, the fight was about the cut." Tony Harrison was thrilled by Fundora's performance as he stated, "Old school, bloody fight. This patient Fundora is a hard guy to beat." He also praised Tszyu's amazing resilience after suffering a cut in the second round of the match, but felt that Tim's corner should have stopped the fight. Tim got the heart of a lion. It's his corny's job to do right by the money period. If I was in Tim's corner, I would have stopped the fight in round 3 because of the blood and have a genuine camp for Fundora. Jeff Mayweather also believed that the cut highly impacted the fight. He also said that he would have stopped the fight if he was in Tzyu's corner.
Well, I thought the elbow changed the fight. Tim was doing really well. Then after he got elbowed, blood just started flowing freely, and Fundora started using his jab, and his jab started landing.
And you were thinking they should have, if you're Tszyu's corner, they should have got the fight called off early, right? So they could have got a no contest?
Yeah, I think that they should have had the fight stopped in the third round.
Jeff thought that Tim's courage was commendable, but it cost him his title. Yeah, it showed that he has a heart of a lion, but it also cost him his titles. He also pointed out that Fundora's jab before the cut wasn't doing much damage, but once the cut happened, Fundora took full advantage of the situation. Jeff stated, "His jab at first wasn't effective at all, but once he saw that cut open, he started to find a mark. And after that round, he won the fight just by using his jab." Keith Thurman was originally slated to face Tim Tszyu, but was replaced due to injury. He reacted to the fight by congratulating everyone. Keith especially commended the efforts Tim made during the fight and advised him to have a rematch with Fundora.
What's up, everybody? Just laid up, posted. What a night of boxing. Congratulations to all the winners, from Honest Larry Laura, Isaac Cruz, the Pit Bull, to the Towering Inferno, and shout out to Tszyu. I know it was supposed to be me and you, my man, but you stepped in there and fought the replacement. It was styles makes fights. It was a challenging, awkward style for you. That reach, and really just the bloodbath that you had to endure. You showed grit. You showed how tough you were. We knew that you were going to be a world-class tough fighter. You showed all of that, my man. Hold your head up high. I'd push for the rematch if I was you. You were an undefeated champion. And we would like to see that fight without the blood in your face. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, fight fans. Another night of boxing.
During the post-fight coverage on Main Event, former multi-time world champion Andre Ward explained the significance of the cut sustained by Tim Tszyu. Andre stated, "I don't want to say it could have been a completely different fight, but it definitely would have been an easier night for Tim Tszyu. When you're bleeding like that, that does start to weaken you, and for whatever reason, his corner was not able to stop the bleeding, and it continued to bleed profusely. I give a lot of credit to Tim Tszyu for hanging in there. Initially, I thought it looked worse than what it was, but as we saw the fight unfold, I thought, this really is a bad cut, and Tim Tszyu did the best he could with what he had." Ward also suggested that Tim should have landed more body shots during the fight. He believes that the damage to Fundora's body would have minimized his reach advantage. He would lunge in with big shots, and we're saying, hit his body. His body's right there, because Sebastian Fundora has a long torso, and for whatever reason, Tim Tszyu wasn't interested in throwing a lot of body shots. I think that would have changed the complexity of the fight. However, Leonard Ellerbe appreciated both fighters putting on a great show. He especially complimented the heart and will of Tszyu, who kept on boxing despite losing a lot of blood. Ellerbe stated, "Major props to Tim for taking the fight. He is truly a great warrior who wants all the smoke. Him and Fundora gave a great fight to the fans tonight. Much respect to him, Glenn and his team." Ellerbe also stated that he already told everyone not to underestimate Fundora, as he thinks that styles make fights. He thinks that Tim didn't have enough time to prepare for this matchup.
I told you guys that, again, it is very hard if you got 8, 10, 12 weeks to prepare for a 6'6" southpaw who's going to stand there and he's going to throw all night long. You got to find a way to discourage him. He was winning the Mendoza fight every round. Again, he is a tough out for anybody. But I told you guys that he wasn't just going to walk through them, because styles make fight. Fundora is a very good fighter, and Tszyu is a very good fighter.
Still, Tim's promoter, George Rose, praised him and his staff for fighting in the face of adversity. George stated, "I've got nothing but respect for Tim and his team for the amount of work they put in, because they were so prepared for that fight. A freak accident happens like that, with a waterfall of blood pouring into his eyes for 10 rounds, and he didn't hesitate to get up off his stool and go back to war with a guy who had the odds stacked in his favor." Not only Tim demonstrated courage in the ring, but he also handled his defeat like a champion. He congratulated Fundora on his victory, and believes that his cut was simply a part of boxing. Tim stated, "I couldn't see, but all credit belongs to the man who won tonight. These things happen, the momentum was rolling, and I was swinging hard. And then boom, you are blinded completely." Tim was also shocked by the amount of blood he lost during the fight, but his courage made him say that he'll fight till death.
I couldn't believe how much blood was. It was crazy. I couldn't say anything. Yeah, fight no matter what. Thank you, Tim.
He is ready to bounce back and calls out anyone who wants a piece of him next, mainly Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. Tim stated, "We will bounce back. I showed up no matter what. I always bring the fight. I was given 1 week, no excuses. I will fight whoever, whenever. Errol Spence is here. Even Terrence Crawford. You want a scrap? You know who to call." So what were your thoughts regarding this fight? Do you think that the cut affected the outcome of the fight? And who do you think should Fundora fight next? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.